So good morning all. I, Dr. Yogesh Zozare, Assistant Professor, Center for Online Learning, welcomes all of you to the live webinar on real-time business analytics by Mr. Shantanu Patnaik, CEO, Sansoftech Services Private Limited, under the leadership and guidance of visionary Honorable Dr. Smita Jadhav ma'am and Executive Director and Trustee Dr. D.Y. Patil Vidyapeeth and Dr. Safia Faruqui ma'am, Director Dr. D.Y. Patil Vidyapeeth Center for Online Learning. We have arranged this webinar. Dr. D.Y. Patil Vidyapeeth Center for Online Learning, a growing institute which is catering the needs of industry by arranging the industry academic interaction through the series of webinar by industry expert, which is providing tremendous opportunity for our student to excel in forward thinking, technologically rich environment. To continue this legacy, Center for Online Learning Pune has arranged today's webinar on business analytics. The scope in the area of business analytics is ever growing and is improving it, and to enhance mainstream as a business of all sizes and analytical skills levels to get it into the big data game. Exploring the business analytics requires the proper focus, best technology, right people, clean culture, and best management promises. So to know more about the business analytics, today we have with us Mr. Shantanu Patnaik, co-founder and CEO, Sansoftech from Utkal University, MDBA from SIMS, and also Oracle certification with many certification program. Sir, we are fortunate to have you on this platform of Dr. D.Y. Patil Vidyapeeth Center for Online Learning, Pune. Without taking too much of time, I heartily welcome you to take charge of today's session. Sir, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yogesh. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for Dr. Safia for giving me this opportunity to get associated with your esteemed institute. As far as this is the organization is concerned, I have heard a lot high about it. I have, earlier also I was having interacted with your institute a lot. As far as the industrial and academic interaction is concerned, it is one of the finest institute that I have been where I have started my career with academics, and we have been to academic consultant to many of premier institutes in India. I'm deeply honored. I'm flattered to be a part of this legacy of academics, and you can say to be among one of you. And this is one of the institute I heard. It's one. As far as the statistics is concerned, I came to know that this is one of the top 50 universities in India, and and thank you all for, and a great congratulations to all of you to manage the dignity, manage the stature of this institute within among the mushrooming institute all over India. So I think this is the right time to interact with the students, to make them aware the importance, the perspective, the activity, the current business scenario as far as data analytics is concerned. Why data analytics is so important? What exactly data analytics is all about? And as far as how they are related to using business intelligence, what are the role of business intelligence is current domain, current national and international scenario. Let me take you all of you to a go through, and make you aware of the current perspective, current technological domain that comes with data analytics. I hope you will enjoy it, and will have a bit knowledge of a certain parameters that help you to get yourself prepared or make yourself industry ready as far as the placements, and as far as the to understand the current market scenario. And it's more important in the post-COVID era, because it's just again rebooting. And probably data analytics is the only thing which saved us, or which made us prepared for such a pandemic. And probably that is the only way to survive in your future, because most of the organizations are going through data centric activities. So let me go through it. Let me make you completely take you through a walkthrough, and just sit back, and I hope enjoy it. So should I start it, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So is my video, is my slides are visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And all right. So when I say let's understand what exactly data analytics is, what is business intelligence, how it's related to data analytics. And being in this industry, in data science industry since a long time, one thing I have understood: more the data you have the power, and more the power you have, that converts into revenue, and that gets translated into revenue. And in an era like in 21st century, when most of the organization over the world going data centric, rich in data, which was not a perceptional activity long back, probably 10 years back or 12 years back. And think of applications, think of social media organizations like Facebook, like WhatsApp, Twitter, these type of, not only these, in fact all those e-commerce companies where they generate billions, trillions bytes of data in petabyte, data in zettabyte, which is unimaginable volume of data. And not only that, all those data has to be managed, has to be translated, has to be moved from one location to another location, has to be converted into required information. They have to convert it into many other multifaceted activities, and those data has to be reached to the consumers, and the simultaneous organization generate revenue out of that. The point is, how do they manage all this data, and what are the use of data? How do we add value to this type of data? So where we're thinking of every second we are generating millions and trillions of mm, data. In those cases, just give me a second, sir. Okay, so the point here is what I'm trying to explain. When we have seen a massive growth in data, and mostly nowadays the data is not only in text form and not only in terms of bits and bytes. We have seen a massive growth in video and photo data as far as this and particularly in social media is concerned. My objective today is to make you aware of the concept of real-time data. But prior to that, let me just give you a fair idea about how real-time data is different from legacy data. Let me tell you how exactly these things works and why real-time data is more important now rather than data of legacy or historical data, or the data which is descriptive by nature. See, when we talk about data, every data has a life cycle, every data has a cycle, every data has a path. Data gets translated into information, or data gets converted into information. Information gets translated into, you can say, knowledge, and knowledge gets translated into intelligence, and then the implementation of intelligence takes place. Can any one of you tell me how do you differentiate? It probably sounds very silly. We say meaningful data is information. Any data which is informative to us, any data which solves our purpose, any data which is, or you can say, of our use, we call it information. Now the point is, how do you differentiate between information and knowledge? Any one of you, any one of the students? So it will help me to guide you in a path. So can anyone of you reply back how information is different from knowledge?
When the information is used to improve our working and cause us to do things better and faster, that is knowledge, what becomes practicable and usable.
All right.
Information we create and knowledge we gather.
No, I mean to say, for example, let's say I said information is when any data that is useful to you, any data that solves your purpose, any data that is desirable to you, that becomes information. So information and data that don't practically have differentiation, anything which may be a garbage to me may be information to you, or anything which is information to you may be data for someone else. But my point is how those desirable information gets can be termed as knowledge. Can you give me example? Any one of you, can you give me example of just difference between just example of knowledge as well as information?
The weather report
All right.
Is information. But if the weather says that today it is going to rain and I better carry an umbrella, is knowledge.
All right. Okay. Okay. See, let me put it in a technical perspective, or in a, anyone want to counter it? See, domain specific information is knowledge. Please try to understand it. Data becomes meaningful. Data is desirable. Data is, when solves the purpose, that becomes information. Otherwise, it will be just a raw garbage or raw fact to you. Once it will be useful for me, it's information. Now, when a information becomes specifically domain oriented, specifically subjective, subject oriented, that becomes knowledge. For example, a doctor have a domain specific knowledge. Medicines, healthcare related knowledge. So that is, he's an expert in the subject. So that's knowledge. He possesses knowledge about some specific domain. A CA has knowledge about his activity, like financial knowledge. A other consultant, or so doctor, engineer, or any specific, with those who possesses information, lots of information about a particular domain, we call them experts, or they become knowledge, possess knowledge about that. Now question is, so that is how it works. Information, as you have, someone of you have told, like when it is implementable, when it is deployable, that becomes knowledge. When it is applicable in a practical perspective on a specific domain. Not necessarily that sometimes a specific domain can correlate to other domains also. So knowledge is a multi-domain activity and have to be specialized in one type of information. So that becomes knowledge. Now, similarly, when we now come to the next point. Why do we need? Where do we use? What is the use of knowledge then? We use of knowledge to use it as intelligence. When this knowledge is implemented in a specific pattern, specific situation, specific circumstances, or from specific object, knowledge is subjective, but when we apply it on a specific activity, that becomes intelligence. Intelligence can be structured. Intelligence can be, intelligence can be applied for a specific purpose, for a practical activity, and that becomes intelligence. And that is how it works. Data, from data goes to, it converted into information. Information gets converted into knowledge. And when we deploy knowledge or implement knowledge in specific situations or in specific circumstances, and that becomes intelligence. Now, my point here is, if that is how it works, so just try to understand how data change its value, how data change its state. Data becomes information, information to knowledge, and knowledge to intelligence. So more you data have, definitely you will be more intelligent. So it's somehow directly reciprocated, directly proportional to the activity of intelligence. So any organization, any individual, any entity who possesses more data, who is data rich, definitely be more intelligent for specific situations or for specific enterprise. So my point here is, what is the use of intelligence? Anybody? What is the use of intelligence? Can anyone help me out to understand?
So can you please repeat your question?
Why do, where do, what is, when we have knowledge, how will you define intelligence? Why do we need intelligence? Why do we need intelligence?
To make things easy.
No, that I understand. Tell me in a knowledge perspective. Like though I have transformed it, where data gets converted into information, information to knowledge, knowledge to intelligence. Now, why do we knowledge as an organization, as an individual, where do we use our intelligence? When knowledge is implementable, when knowledge is deployable, we call it intelligence. Now, question is, where do we use this intelligence? Why do we need intelligence?
So intelligence can be lead to the more profit by converting the right resources. If we have the knowledge, then we can implement into the right processes, and this can convert into the more and more profits.
Agreed. My point.
Sir,
I have asked about intelligence. Where do we need intelligence, or uh, where do we need
sir,
it?
intelligent is a property of individual's mindset,
All right.
uh, and it is used to implement certain facts and data, and if you wish to materialize it into real time output as we expected, so there it is implemented, and actually we seen there useful. So this is how the intelligent can be defined.
Okay.
To
Anybody else?
To use
the knowledge
to the-
more efficiently.
to use knowledge
More
in different areas as much as possible, where to apply, when to apply, how to apply is intelligence.
Exactly. The point here is intelligence is a method where it helps us to take decisions. Please try to understand it. Intelligence is a part of decision making process. Intelligence is a support system for decision making. When you have multiple choices, when we need to take decision out of a set of options, and we have to take the best option out of that, there we need decisions. And in order to take decision, we have to use intelligence. Every problem has multiple solutions, not necessarily or maybe all the solutions are correct. When you need to choose the best solution out of that, we need to apply intelligence. So intelligence is a decision support system basically. That means more. So the basic point here trying to highlight is, so any organization, any individual who is possesses more data or data rich by its nature, he is capable of taking decisions. So data, information, knowledge, intelligence, decision making process, that is how it works, irrespective of the type of the decision, whether it's a business decision, whether it's a technical decision, whether it's an individual decision or academic decision. For that, we need sufficient data with us. That is how data is so important today. And see, because why I told you this, when decision making processes also have there are different types of situations. Decision can be structured when it is supported by facts, figure, documents, and all that. Decision can be unstructured when we don't have any such examples prior to that. Decisions can be semi-structured. We have partly document along with it. So for all these, the type of decision, we need intelligence to be applicable. For a doctor prescribes medicine to so many patients, in certain cases, the same type of diseases can be, when a doctor diagnoses it, he applies his intelligence. Depending the age, depending upon the severity, depending upon the symptoms, he changes his medicine, he changes his dose. That is because you don't take a rule book along with it. He applies decision on that. So decision making process always is a implementation of intelligence or by application of intelligence. That is why we have a tremendous demand of applying, in many cases, artificial intelligence or natural intelligence. At a point when natural intelligence sets its limit, from that point starts artificial intelligence, or that point the use of artificial intelligence starts. So the basic idea behind to collecting data, to store data, now every part of life we are using now data centric activities. Think of organizations like Google, think of organizations like Twitter or Facebook or different e-commerce companies. Nowadays we are in such a situation where we have intelligence based application everywhere. And for any intelligence based applications, we always need sufficient amount of applicable data. So when the data is more evaluated, the data is more flat, the more rich in its content, that becomes precious to any organization. All right. So now the question is, to get value out of this data, to make the data implementable, to make the data structured, to make the data ready to use for implementation, we need all the data has to go through a process or go through an analytics process. or go through the most of the organizations are data centric, or the demand of data science is so high. So the science behind data need to be understood, the application of the data need to be understood, the modeling activity of the data need to be understood. So data का जितना ज्यादा यूज होगा, जितना ज्यादा डोमेन पर उसका multiple domains, multiple umbrella activity will start up. So that is why understanding data, use of data, application of data, and maximum use of data is a buzzword now. Most of the organizations are switching to data centric activities. Now question is, where do all this data comes from? Think of organizations where they generate terabytes, petabytes, hectabytes of data in a single minute. Think of big organizations like Tata, think of big organizations like Reliance, or I'm talking about India, or think of that, all those big e-commerce companies or social media companies where they hectabytes or zettabytes of data created every second. So in all those situational activities, all those situations, those data need to be stored somewhere. Those data need to be sent to somewhere. So the applicable of logistic, the applicable of data storage, and the analysis, everything is important. So that is why all those organizations has to have maintain certain repositories where they need to store this data. So when we call them data warehouses, एक second में इतना amount of data generate होता है. Organizations like Google, for example, Facebook generates 3 billion, zettabytes of data. Zettabytes, you have gigabyte, we have terabyte, we have petabyte, hexabyte, septabyte, octabyte, yettabyte, then comes zettabyte. This type of organization generate multiple amounts of yettabytes or zettabytes in a single day, in some hours. So those data has to be stored. Those data has to be used for different useful activities. That is why Google is such a premier company now. That is why they are so powerful now. They use they help those they use the data to track you for navigational activities, for GIS related activities, for research related activities, for search engines, for business related activities. Social media companies use multiple models, revenue models, and business models to use those data. So historical data became very important, or historical data, think of weather forecasting, think of defense analysis, think of soil research, all those areas are based upon historical data. So analyzing the data of past is known as basically historical data. That is a proverb, we call it, the more you torture the data, it will speak more. The more you work on data, the more you dissect the data, the more you give manipulate the data, torture it, it will speak more information. And that is what data analytics is all about. Analytics is a process where we try to fetch unknown information from known data. The more you known data is with you, the more unknown information you can fetch out of it. Okay, so that is what the main value addition, or taking the value out of the data. That is where the data comes from. When you try to predict or try to take many unknown information out of known data, that is important as far as analytics is concerned. And broadly, if you categorize on these analytics, it has 3 broad domains: descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. Descriptive basically talks about what is the data, all the description about the data, the postmortem part, the analysis part. I have many data, and to understand what is the pattern of this data, what this data says. Let's say stock market data. I have 10 years data with me. What does the stock market says? Which commodity or which product has high value, those who are in low value? I have, for example, weather data of last 10 years. What is the pattern says? What is the pattern in terms of climate, in terms of rain, in terms of temperature, in terms of other related activities. What is the trend? What is the pattern? What does the data say? To understand, that is what descriptive, which is more in attribute oriented, where it describes about certain behavioral aspect. It can be for a patient, it can be for a healthcare activity, it can for a climate related activities, it can for a business related activities. So when you have lots of data with you, which is a scope एक timeline से back करके जा रहा है, or you can say when you have a data stored in terms of timeline, that become, we call it, and try to understand it, try to analyze it, that's known as descriptive analytics. And by using those trend, by understanding the trend, by understanding the pattern, हम अगर उसको modulate करेंगे, and we try to, will able to predict something for the future. अगर last 3 quarters में ये sale हुआ है, my next quarter will have this much amount of sale or can generate this much amount of revenue. That is what predictive analysis. I can predict something. I have weather data of last 5 years with me, both of every day wise data or every second minute, you can say hour wise data. By using those data, if I'll predict that the next 1 week, what would be the weather for the next 1 week, or whether what will be the weather for tomorrow or day after tomorrow or for a particular period, in those cases, that is what predictive analysis is about. When you try to predict by predict something of the future by using of the historical data. Similarly, when you try to prescribe something in order to handle the predictive activities in terms of finance, in terms of engineering related activities, in terms of marketing, in terms of sale, in terms of stock market, if I'm able to help prescribe certain things to make someone prepare, to make someone prescribe certain activities so that you can be prepared, you can be ready for those futural or futuristic part, futuristic activities, we call it prescriptive. So descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. So descriptive, basically, it creates a, it takes the historical data, the story will ideally have all overall theme, एक pattern, a specific pattern होगा, descriptive data. It helps to understand the analyst to understand the past events. Okay, and predictive helps to understand the trend and predict future events and occurrences. क्या होगा आगे? Okay, so where you can create scenario, you can manage the scenario. If I will increase my product cost up to a certain point, or I lower my product cost, or if I can use certain taking some parameters into consideration or make changes in certain variables, what would be the effect? Basically helps the businessman or understand or you can individual to understand what would be the future. And being academic institutes, we are working on certain academics project of some overseas project, let me share certain things with you. The predictive analysis actually is one of the finest area to apply in learning analytics, and learning analytics is an area जहाँ सबसे कम काम हुआ है worldwide till date. Almost all areas has been controlled by analytics. You talk about product industry, service industry, or even if e-commerce or everywhere data analytics is extensively used. But बहुत कम काम हुआ है as far as learning analytics or academic analytics is concerned, in terms of understanding the behavioral aspect or the mental growth of the students, or trend modifying the university level syllabuses, or the cohesive relationship of faculties and the management. इसके ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा काम हो सकता है as far as learning analytics in terms of predictive analysis. We have worked in a similar type of project. हमने एक undertake किया था project from Oman University, like National Institute of Oman, where they try to understand, trying to identify what are the parameters that makes a student to get into a university or college, and what are the parameters the faculty wants from the students to be a part of and to maintain a healthy integration between them, and what are the role of the parents in between that. So by using deep learning, we have tried to understand. We got fantastic results, which is actually extreme. I mean, these are areas which was completely untold prior to that. Working upon data from three type of stakeholders like parents, faculties of all over university level faculties of Oman, as well as students. We got very surprising and very which can be shared later. I can share it now, but which is very uncommon, which are very unconventional ideas, unconventional outcomes. We have never thought that there are certain variables which have thought they are not independent variables which can influence the data analysis so much. What I'm trying to say here, predictive analysis sometimes plays a very important role to make a individual organizations to get prepared for the future related activities. Similar way, the prescriptive analytics will help to what to do if certain situation arises. Okay, so the prescribe the real world decisions, there where comes the decision making purpose which I was talking about. So prescriptive analytics will help you to take the right decision for the right at the right perspective. So this is what data analytics. The point here is what I was the basic idea what I was trying to explain in here. But ek cheez aap logon, I mean all of you must have understood what I was saying. All these things are based upon legacy data or historical data. इसके लिए हमारे पास you need to store or you need to take data which has already been stored with us since a long time. All the most of the data centric organizations or most of the data oriented organizations, they use this type of worked on historical data. But and we have already traveled a long way as far as historical data is concerned in terms of descriptive, predictive, and predictive and prescriptive analytics is concerned. But now it's an era, probably since 1920 and 2020 was, as far as this COVID related or this pandemic era, the whole world has taken into storm by real time or streaming analytics. This is an area where data is real time. The data has to be collected at the real time. We don't have to wait for those historical data. We don't have to gather historical data and work on to predict on things. We have to capture the data at its source and straight away take into or implement in analytics. Runtime data can make tremendous influence on different activities. Think of when you collect the data at the stores, the data has to be moved so fast. The data has to be taken into, you don't have to store it. We have to, at the source, you have to model it. At the source, you have to evaluate it. क्योंकि data जो सबसे important perspective है कि data जो आप collect करोगे, that has to be evaluated and that has to be structured in terms of big data also. And अगर आप evaluation as well as आपका analysis, authentication or evaluation, or you can say to convert it into structural in a structural manner, ये source से करना पड़ेगा and that has to be extremely fast. Like you have to take data in the let's say minute wise or hour wise, and then you have to produce the outcome. What could be the effect? So real time data analytics perform actions as the data become available. होते ही वो data को आप use करोगे. It can be converted through continuous queries. For example, think of let me give you example in terms of real let's say retail market. Think of organizations, big organizations where they have retail chains. If they can analyze their data hour-wise sales or hour-wise demand and supply ratio, think of what would be like they can analyze at which part of the country, which part of a city, which product is high is in demand and which product is in less demand, which product is needed at what is the status of inventory at different situation, and what could be the futuristic demand of that. Think of sports when it can real time data analytics can be used. Streaming data. the data का generation point पे भी अगर data को हम analysis कर लेंगे, that is what real time analytics. In case of health worker, I mean, I'm particularly in terms of, let's say, health science. एक particular situation patient का, let's say, from its heartbeats or from vital parameter, if the doctor able to understand what could be the situation in next 1 hour or next 2 hours, depending upon all the vital parameters of a patient's health condition, he can get himself prepared, or critical health care things can be allotted. And stock market, sports, healthcare industry, traffic. So streaming analytics, streaming का basic concept यहाँ है, the data continuous जहां आपके पास आ रहा है, immediately generate हो रहा है. The data is in the situation of dynamically generate हो रहा है, and we are capturing it. Data store करके capture करना, it's a past story now. So streaming analytics or runtime analytics will enable businesses to receive alerts based upon certain predefined, हमें पहले से predefined parameter set करना पड़ेगा. For that, those old data will help us. For example, let organizations like United Healthcare and all, they are working on these real-time analytics. From the, for example, they are implementing, they are working on a model where emergency care programs, for example, emergency care units like ambulance calls and 1097, those all critical calls. From the patient's call or the victim's call, the voice pitch, the geographical location, all these parameters will be taken into consideration, and accordingly they can send the ambulance and other critical units there. Like patient का voice pitch से, patient का location से, patient का other related जो कि environment से gather हो सकता है. Similarly, they are working on marketing. For example, marketing. जब एक टेलीकॉलर इंटरैक्ट करता है, instead of telecaller, when the market will, the system will interact with a prospective customer का interaction mode, customer का use of the language, keywords and the voice pitch and the जिसको हम sentimental analysis कहते हैं. From that, we will able to know whether the customer is a prospective customer or even categorize the customer, so that the alerts, the reports can be prepared. And all these different technicality behind it is आपका different parameters को can be represented in different visualizations, different dashboard में multiple data analytics में जो सबसे important area है, that we call it dashboard. So when we represent all these things in a dashboard and take a cumulative report out of that in terms of graphics visualization, in terms of correlations, in terms of regressions, in terms of different other statistical methods, when we put everything on a dashboard and try to take an outcome from that and create a runtime alert, for the next minute alert, next hourly alert, in terms of business, in terms of healthcare, in terms of so many other things, traffic management, in terms of disaster management. It's a fantastic area which data analytics is coming up to. So the point what I was trying to share is, real-time analytics will be the buzzword, will be the hot cake for another 2 years. Within 2 years, let's say. This is an area which moves very fast, and trust me, data-related activities or data science is the only area which will be proved as a survival kit for any business industry, any business-oriented domain, or as far as the service and product industry is concerned, specifically service industry. More the data you have, because most of the things are now moving towards AI, artificial intelligence, or you can call it machine learning. Nobody has that much time to use human brain into all those complicated, critical, or you can say insights. So we need to understand the insight of every business. For that, analytics has to play an important role. From every part or from every perspective domain, the information has to be collected, the information has to be analyzed, the information has to be modeled, and the outcome has to be suggested and has to be implemented. So that And when we think of real-time analytics, we don't have to even if wait to store the data, then transfer it to someone else and to a system and to work on it. It can be visualized, collected and visualized the update in such a way in real time so that what is occurring in this moment and what will occur in the next moment. Think of disaster management, traffic, agar this type of analytics devices will be machine learning or this type of models can be fitted into different vehicles, it will almost reduce accident rates to zero. Or in terms of marketing, in terms of inventory management, in terms of, and one of the finest area of real-time analytics, as far as I understood it, as far as, in fact, certain area who have worked on it also, that is logistic management. That the manufacturer can understand the demand of the particular product in terms of when he has been connected, logistic analytics, which you talk about, of the distributor as well as the retailer and the consumer. The retailer can gather the information in real time at POS from the consumers. And similarly, the network can interact with to distributor and the manufacturer need to understand what is which product has high demand, what are the product feedback, and who are the potential customers. So it can critically, you can say real-time analytics will critically track the occurrence of all types of different critical events, so that from top to bottom, the organizational hierarchy can have a completely control over the whole organization as well as its customers. So at a business point of view, say, or technical point of view, say, yeah, even if industry perspective, say, you can analyze the trends. Every data will say something. So real-time data, say, you can reduce the timeline of understanding. That is what the basic idea behind it. It can be analyzed. You can analyze the trend and set a benchmark for the next level quality. Or you can set a trademark, or you can have a aggressive competitive advantage over other products. All right. So the point here is for that, and that is why. So when you look at data analytics, so this is what real-time analytics is. One of the best part which I was the thing which I are talking about, trying to make want you to understand it is that is how big data and real-time analytics enhances the domain of BI. And as far as big data is concerned, that is all about the data collected globally, or you can say when the data is in a size of unimaginable in terms of real-time visualization, that is as big data. The data, when your data gets generated in terms of petabyte or hexabyte in a single minute from organizations like where normal data analytics or statistical tools or database don't work, where you need to have similarly distributed processing units or distributed processing system for that, or a distributed network or a distributed database to store all this type of data, jahan ka data ka movement will be unimaginable in terms of standard infrastructure. In those cases, huge data can be collected, and if they can be implemented in terms of business perspective, think of the power of BI. And उस जगह पर real time analytics का importance कितना ज्यादा होगा in terms of business operations. And how could this COVID, for example, this COVID-19, how come globally the WHO able to manage the whole system so quickly and so rapidly? Starting from as far as this development of vaccines are concerned, the patient symptoms, the statistical data every minute, every day wise collected, and to put it in, understand the behavior. That is why probably we were able to overcome the worst part in a very rapid manner, very quickly. And work on different types of vaccines came up. Okay, so in this process, the information become accessible anywhere between milliseconds to 5 seconds. In this case, as data, see, when you now try to understand data, it's not only about volume. It's about the volume, it's about the velocity, and it's about the variety also. If you are to send some data to someone else, if it takes more than a minute, we term it as slow. Whether it's a WhatsApp application or whether it's a Facebook or any other social media platform. So data has to be fast, irrespective of the geographical distance. That not only any amount of data has to be moved very fast. And any type of data can go. The different variety of data can go. So data has to be collected, data has to be analyzed, and real time, which is a signifies the minimal negligible latency, has to transfer from one place to another, irrespective of the type, has to very fast. So in this type of situations, and the information become accessible anywhere. And the point here is, until unless the huge amount of data has to be mobilized to different geographical locations at same point of time, it is collected, there is no point of calling those data in real time, and they cannot be used in BI. So in order to understand BI or in order to use it in BI, data has to be collected in large size and has to move extremely fast. And there comes the role of real-time business, or the value addition of real-time analytics. It will help to minimize the losses. It will minimize the preventable losses, because data will be, analytics can be done at real time at the source on itself. So it will, the next lot of products or the next service can be manipulated or can be controlled according to that. Any damage caused by the event, such as security breaches, suspicious behaviors, face recognition, manufacturing defects, all these things, or customer payment pattern, customers purchase pattern, can be immediately analyzed. We can analyze routine business operations, any suspicious or any malfunction of any devices, and what could be the effect in the next moment. Okay, it will help to understand the real, stock trend. It will help you to understand the behavioral trends of the customers. Or you can, depending upon the customer's behavioral trend, you can recommend upsell or cross-sell of the products at different outlets. Okay, new business models. See, the new business models, like new business revenue model, new business e-commerce models can be planned according to it. Real-time business models can be developed. So that is how real-time business is so important nowadays. And different areas of real-time businesses models are coming up. You can keep track with your different marketing department, can keep track with their digital campaign at real time, and can have a customer response within a minute. Okay, all those OTT platform can upload, or you can can plan, or they can change their content according to the customers or according to the viewers requirement. They can understand the viewers demand, they can understand the viewer sentiment, and accordingly they can work on it also. So this is what the real scenario of business management, or real-time data analysis, as well as real-time streaming analysis and real-time data analytics is all about. Many projects, many research areas are coming up as far as data related activities, the logistic, the statistical approach. If anyone of you want to work on it, anyone want to be as whether irrespective of, specifically for the students as interns, as you can remote data analysis, or you can say to be a part of understanding and data science, to be a part of our team, or if you want your research areas to be modified by us, particularly for academicians, and definitely to support to your data analysis related activities or data science related activities, we will be glad than enough, or you will be honored. More than it will be a great privilege for us to provide our technical support to you any point of time, and to any extent. So that's all about the business analytics in terms of real time. Thank you very much, and I'm open to any questions or any queries if you want to, anybody if you want to throw, please.
So thank you so much, sir. It was really a great session, and we have explored a lot into the data analytics and business analytics. I request Professor Sandeep Singh, sir, to conduct the session of question and answer. Sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Yogesh Jare, sir. I request all the students, they can post their queries into the chat box, or they can unmute one by one and ask their queries to Shantanu sir related to the topic.
Shantanu sir, good morning. This is Rahul from Nashik. Am I audible?
Yes, Mr. Rahul, carry on.
Sir, just one question. I am from pharma industry.
Right.
Can you let me know if it is possible how data analytics is helping the pharma industry? Without naming the companies, just the theme, how it is helpful in pharma industry.
Mr. Rahul, probably pharma industry is using data analytics to the maximum now. All not in terms of research, but also in terms of product analysis, but in terms of vaccination, the analysis of vaccination programs, and the statistical or the predictive analysis of the trend of this COVID-19 globally. So pharma industry, almost all pharma industries now are working on as far as analytics is concerned, and for that, many such products are also coming up. Solution products are concerned. Can you please narrow down your question so that I'll able to pinpoint it more specifically?
Yes, sir. I have two specific questions. Yes. The rate at which COVID is increasing. Now, let us say we are getting about 30 to 40,000 patients per day. So is there any software or any mathematical or statistical modeling available which suggests what could be the number of patients by tomorrow?
There are many open sources available. You can download many open source tools. So many researchers have proposed those models, trends, and open source tools. You can go for Kaggle. If you at the offline, I can suggest you some more sites also. But as far as I have understood, you can go for Google का अपना Google data search में data sets में मिल जाएगा, and specifically Kaggle में, GitHub में आपको आराम से मिल जाएगा बहुत सारा, and WHO का site पे even if they have an open source forum also. You can get lots many open source tools designed and uploaded by different researchers globally, and all are open sources. You can download it.
Okay, sir. Thank you. And second question, sir. अभी वैक्सीन बनाने के लिए there are certain target molecules. तो उसमें से narrow down करके pharma company chooses which particular molecule or which particular medicine is likely to be most effective.
So for you can what I'll suggest, Mr. Rahul. Yes. I can suggest you can prepare you can say a synopsis, and I will help you out to propose that research orient. I'll tell you you can work on it from what will be the data sources. इसमें I could have been आपको मैं basic elementary stage में आपको help कर सकता हूँ to create your connections.
ठीक है sir. Thank you.
But for that you prepare a problem objective so that things can be planned out.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
We have one question in chat box. by Namrata. Please elaborate one of the application of data analysis in the field of healthcare, especially physiological testing and diagnosis of diseases.
As I have answered Mr. Rahul's question also, healthcare industry at this time using maximum level of analytics in terms of trend analysis, in terms of the composition of medicine is, is gone as far as the composition like effect and composition is concerned. It also helped the other researchers a lot in terms of the response, the effect and the side effect of vaccines are concerned, and they collect it at real time. Please try to understand it. So many such areas that they are healthcare to maximum organizations like United Healthcare and as far as I know, certain organization, and as far as research is concerned, there is another organization called ZS at Gurgaon also. They all are working on different domains of healthcare analytics is concerned. Some of them are working on marketing related activities. Some of them are research related activities. So if you can able to provide me certain more more parameters about your question, I can pinpoint your answer to a specific industry. Like अगर आप जानना चाहते हैं कि ओनली मार्केटिंग में कौन काम कर रहे हैं या ओनली स्पेसिफिक रिसर्च ओरिएंटेड एक्टिविटीज में या बायोकेमिस्ट्री रिलेटेड एक्टिविटीज में, so that I can elaborate it in a more better way, or I can suggest some more information about it.
And also, our quite a lot of our technical equipments are maintained on real time and remotely.
Yes, sir.
That's also available for healthcare people.
Right. Many. That's what I'm saying. Researchers are going on, and specifically nowadays, because all medical industry or healthcare industry is the only industry where this accuracy has to be level up to milliseconds. So in that way, this type of analytics will play a very important role. As far as GE also, GE Healthcare is working on it, and
quite a lot of the health
organizations. So remote sensing, remote devices, and this type of it's in the highest implementation of data analytics in healthcare industry now.
So we have one question with from Joseph. You want to know about how to avoid the pitfalls of business intelligence, not working with clean data, starting with conclusion, jumping to the conclusion too early.
See, the basic limitation of analytics as far as modeling is concerned, data has to be structured. Because when you collect data from various sources, that is, in those cases, data comes along with lots of garbages and impurity. So before making it to eligible for analytics, before making it to making the data qualified for the analytics, you have to definitely make the data go through the data through an analytics life cycle. So the data has to be unstructured, always collected as an unstructured way, particularly in terms of big data also. And different analytics in methodology, data mining will that part of analytics is taken care of by data mining. That helps us to make the data structured, make the data cleaned, make the data more prominent, to remove garbages, to all sorts of. The data has to be presented, or you have to make all the data logically related to each other. Rest of the things has to be. Data analytics don't remove data; it just segregate the required data from garbage. That's it. So always the structural approach has to be there, and that will be done by your tools and techniques. So definitely will not jump into a conclusion until unless we have structured it. And more the data is structured, definitely more will be the accuracy. Though कोई भी accuracy के लिए दो important चीज इसमें matter करता है. That is, one is the size of the data and the cleanness of the data, or you can say the structural representation of the data. So the more you have data with you and more it's structured, the accuracy level will be no doubt definitely high. And ये सारा depend करता है from at the point of from where you are collecting the data. So data preparation plays a very important role in data analytics. As far as data analytics is concerned, it plays absolutely the major role as far as analytics is concerned. We need to prepare it before exploring it.
Thank you, sir. Now we don't have any question in the chat box. If I request any student want to ask, they can unmute and they can ask.
And यहाँ एक important चीज, let me just, I thought I should tell you, it is not necessarily that a person has to be technically qualified to be a data analyst. Please try to understand it. Data analytics has various segments. If you can there is you have data science, data analytics, and data modelers, data explorer, many areas. So a person don't have to be technically. This is one of the myths. You don't have to be an engineer, or you don't have to be an MCA to be a data analyst or to work on data as far as analytics is concerned. But yes, you should have an understanding of data. You should have a clear understanding how data behaves. What are you should be able to identify the data. You should be able to understand the intricity of the data, like data modeling, research methodology, OR, all these things. So yeah, practically data science is a part of management science, and the infrastructural part, the IT part, is taken care by analytics. So not necessarily a person has to be technically qualified enough to be a analyst. So this is one basic thing all of the students need to keep it in mind. Have a clear understanding of that, but yes, you should have a logical bent of mind. You need to understand, analyze data logically.
Yes, sir. I think we end up the session of the question answer.
Yes. Sir, there is one question from my end. Yes, sir, for Shantanu, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sir, you have mentioned a very important aspect into the data analytics and into the segment of education, that less activities has been done into the data analysis or into the education field. Now, one thing is that how you see into the period of COVID-19, that there was a transformation of a traditional pedagogy to the online education.
Exactly.
And yes, and the behavioral aspect related to the online education, as we are observing at the school level, at the institute level, and many of the academicians, they are facing the problem into the online education, that some of the students, they are grasping the knowledge and some are not. Now, how would you see the future of online education, and what could be done to do what should be the way for academicians and for researchers to do the data analytics into the education field, for transforming the behavior as per the need of the hour and the future perspectives?
Right. So actually, you have hit the right node, the sensitive node of the system. Yes, let me put this question. Let me analyze present your question in two parts. The first part talks about analytics in education, higher education. The second part, the behavioral aspect of, or the pre and post COVID issues. Yes, as far as my point was, what I was trying to explain that time, in the first part, I was explaining about learning analytics. This is an area of analytics, like we have other areas like sentiment analysis, behavioral analytics, emotional analytics, we have cognitive analytics, like very specific areas. Learning analytics refer to that area where you try to understand the behavioral aspect of all those who are a part of education system or stakeholder of education system. It's not only student or not only faculties. We try to understand learning analytics area. It can be anything, even if small parameter that comes under education system, irrespective of the domain, irrespective of the faculty. That is one part. And ये एक neglected area है actually. Most researchers didn't have, they do, and most importantly, sir, what I have observed, most of the researchers are academicians, but they worked for other domains rather than taking a research on a real learning process. So I expect definitely people will, some of the universities are working on it. Some international universities, they came up with some excellent models, and some of them are reflected in our higher education policy also. HAP now also. So I'll expect कि definitely इसके ऊपर तो ज्यादा काम होना चाहिए. मैं जो आपको बता रहा था कि we have worked on one of the academic project as far learning analytics is concerned by use of deep learning method for a Gulf Oman government. उसमें बहुत सारा चीज ऐसा पता चला कि जो कि it was really path breaking. So that's one way to look at it. ये तो learning analytics के बारे में हो गया. Second important चीज है, और एक important चीज ऑब्जर्व कर, like which you have pointed out, pre-COVID data and post-COVID data में there will be a huge difference. If we have collected, that is because it's a real-time experience for us also. We have collected some of the data which was pre-COVID because it was started long back. And when we collected some more data post-COVID, we find all the data almost 180 degree opposite to each other, because that time the environment, the data collection environment was different and that system was different. That time the requirement was different, and post-COVID the requirement was different in terms of a faculty, in terms of a student also. Like I'll tell you some certain examples. Students have typical problems with the university that the faculty's face is not visible. The faculty's education aid were not visible. So the requirement changed. University has to propose, for example, different lighting system in the classroom. I'll just giving you some very basic requirement which has been changed. But prior to that, there was something else. इसमें एक चीज देखा गया कि I mean the intellectual level of faculty has increased because he is teaching in his comfort level. He is more prepared. He is more substantially have substantial matter with him so that he can benefit the student. But similarly, at student point of view, students need physical interaction with the faculty. They need to have an environment of offline environment in order to study. So आपको technically तो उसमें data में बहुत ज़्यादा difference आएगा, and educational intellectual development किसी जगह पर post COVID में मैंने जितना हमारा outcome उसमें मिला था, I am just sharing it. तो faculty के intellectual level में काफी सारा changes आया था, but student का grasping level पे it has been really a downfall. इसमें ये चीज हुआ क्योंकि फैकल्टी अपना कंफर्ट लेवल में पढ़ा रहा है, स्टूडेंट उसमें अनकंफर्टेबल में पढ़ रहा है. दैट वाज वन ऑफ द आउटकम व्हिच यू हैव ऑब्जर्व्ड. सो इस टाइप का यू कैन लॉट मेनी थिंग्स केम अप आई मीन एज फार एज डेटा, क्योंकि डेटा का एक ऑलवेज टाइमलाइन के अंदर रहता है. एवरी डेटा विल बिहेव इन अ डिफरेंट वे वंस द टाइम विल एट डिफरेंट टाइम. सो दैट मैटर्स अ लॉट. तो मेरा ऑब्जर्वेशन में तो लाइक लर्निंग एनालिटिक्स के ऊपर ऐसे बहुत सारा चीज है जो कैन बी एक्सप्लोर्ड.
Yes, sir. So the one thing that you have pointed out that the faculty intellectual level is somewhat going up and up, or we can say that it is when we compare it pre-COVID or after post-COVID, definitely the faculties, they are taking a lot of efforts. They are increasing their intellectual efforts, and we can conclude at this mode that definitely online education is providing a rich content to the learners. And but the problem is that the learners are not going to grasp it.
Exactly.
So what could be done
in those cases? I think the as far as the other parameters, there are certain dependent and independent parameters for this are concerned. Like a lot of importance has to be given of the environment of infrastructural environment, making use of different educational aid, and visualization matters a lot. That actually matters a lot. Use of visualizations in different subjects, visualizing methodologies, and क्योंकि स्टूडेंट एक वर्चुअल एनवायरनमेंट में आपके साथ इंटरैक्ट कर रहा है, सो वर्चुअल एनवायरनमेंट का विजुअलाइजेशन एक्चुअली इंपैक्ट्स अ लॉट.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. We will implement all your suggestions, and definitely it will be a new milestone into the education field, sir. So it was really great session.
Always welcome, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And I'm really thankful to you that you have given us an opportunity to all our students to get involved into the field of data analytics. And I'm really thankful that you have given this golden opportunity to our students to work along with you. Now I request Professor Sandeep Singh, sir, to please present vote of thanks for this particular session. Please, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Yogesh Jare, sir, for allowing me to present the vote of thanks for the wonderful session on the topic of real-time business analytics by Mr. Shantanu Patnaik. Business analytics is the need of today, so it will become essential to know about it and learn about it. I want to thank you, our respected director, Dr. Safia Farooqi ma'am, for conducting such an amazing session with Mr. Shantanu Patnaik. I want to thank all the participants who have attended the webinar. Once again, I want to thank you, Mr. Shantanu Patnaik, for giving valuable time to our learners and faculty members. Thank you so much.
Thank you, for Dr. Yogesh, Dr. Safia,
Sir,
and
thank you so much, sir.
Professor Sandeep. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It was a nice interactive session. We all have enjoyed a lot and know and explored the ocean of analytics. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So, I at this particular note, I would likely to conclude that this particular session has been completed. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.